Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of our Aeon's End Legacy of Gravehold solo strategic campaign, where I'm going through and kind of explaining all my strategies we play through. When last we left off, we had done a battle against the nameless that shall not be named. I was feeling a little down about that in character, not from the result, but just didn't love the mechanics. But I'm rearing, I'm ready to go. So let's dive into it. Starting at the end of the last game, we got to open a bunch of new stuff, including 4 new supply files. So let's take a look at those. All right, so first up, we've got the Sunken Onyx. It's our 3-cost gem. Gain 2. You may discard this after an ally focuses a breach. If you do, they focus that breach again. This could come in really handy for some of the stuff I'm planning on doing in this next game, so we are going to be subbing that one in. So that is the Sunken Onyx. Next up, we've got the Echo Rune. Any player, the Relic, any player gains 1 charge. You may discard this during an ally's main phase. If you do, they gain 1. So that seems pretty interesting. It's a 2-coster, but kind of like the 2 relics we've got so far, like not getting fire tokens. And again, focusing breaches is going to be a pretty important aspect of some of the stuff we're doing next game. So that is the Echo Rune. Next up, we've got the Quicksilver Bolt. It's a 5-cost spell. You may prep this spell to one of your opened breaches during any ally's main phase. When you prep this during your main phase, boost this. Cast to deal 3 damage. If it's fully boosted, it deals 1 additional damage, and it's got 2 boost marks. So we are going to sub that in, give that one a try. I took out the 2-cost spell, the Grass Blade. So that's the Quicksilver Bolt. And the last new item we got, a spell, 8-cost, Volcanic Shrapnel. Cast, deal 1 damage, deal 1 damage, deal 1 damage. So great for dealing with shields. You may return this to your hand up to 2 cards. You may return to your hand up to 2 cards from your discard pile that cost 0. This is, returning cards is definitely good. But we've got Cascade that lets us return cards, and by the time you can get an 8-cost spell out, usually you have other ways to deal with shields, is kind of my feeling. So not going to try this one just yet. I've got the Rainbow Surge. I'd like to try and build up some more boosting there. So those are the supply piles I've chosen. Let's take a look at the new mages. All right, so first we've got Claudia, who is, as I said, the daughter of Malistar and Kadir. Only takes 4 charges to activate her. She can either, any player gains 3 life, or the next time you gain a card this turn, you may place it into any ally's hand. Then any ally gains a copy of the same card and places it into their hand. So that seems like that could be incredibly useful. So I am going to give her a try in the next game. I think we're going to try all the mages we haven't done yet. So Claudia Geigar for the first time. And the other one, Nook. There you go. Who's got Time Ripple. So his is pretty wild, actually. So he actually starts with these more powerful abilities in his starting hand and deck, but as he uses them, they're going to get subbed out for crystals and spark. So he actually starts more powerful and then gets less so, but then once you can trigger off his Time Ripple, activate during your main phase, return up to 3 crystals from your hand or discard pile to the regularity deck. That's this. Place up to 3 anomaly cards from the regularity deck into your hand. So we'll kind of be rotating out, playing the really good stuff, losing it, then getting it back. So that seems pretty interesting, unlike any mage I've done before. And he has no level 1 breach to kind of, I guess, compensate for that. And then we talked a bit about Geigar. So he can cast his prep spells without losing them, and he's trying to build up these counters, these storm tokens, which will make his spells more powerful. So we're going to go with the 3 of them. But now let's take a look at experience upgrades. So interestingly, the experience upgrades for Gravehold so far are, for the most part, at least the non-character specific ones, are the same as the ones we had for Azer. So I thought it was a good opportunity to try some of the stuff we haven't. Much as, the boost stuff is great, but we did that over there. Over here, we're going to do some different stuff. So First, went ahead and spent six experience apiece. Oh, and here's another thing. I had actually misread. So for that, it was 4 experience per player plus 2 per player for only having 2 or fewer fire tokens. So I actually have a total of 18 experience. That should have been the same for my first game, whereas I only took 14 experience. So I took an extra 4 experience, put it in the box. Whenever we get back, I've got 12 from the last game, so Azer's sitting on 16 XP whenever we get a chance to level them up again. But let's take a look at. So each of these breaches upgrades cost 6, and let's take a look at those. All right, so first we've got a 2 breach upgrade. Spells cast from this breach deal an additional damage. Pretty straightforward. Um, should be pretty easy to activate pretty fast. And then this one will be a little bit trickier to get to. It's a level 1 breach. When a spell is cast from this breach, if the player who cast it has no closed breaches, that spell deals an additional 3 damage. So that was again kind of my thinking with, let me use various abilities and cards that are going to help me focus breaches. Speaking of which, went ahead and spent 3 XP, or maybe 2 XP. One cost 2, one cost 3. I think this was 2 for a crystal upgrade that allows you to gain an extra Aether, which can only be used to focus or open a breach. And then last but not least, we, for 3, upgraded the Spark. Cast, deal 1 damage. If there are 6 or more other cards in your discard pile, you may return a card from your discard pile to your hand. So let's see if we can get that in somebody's deck where we plan on building things up and try and pay attention to that so that we can time it right. Actually, that might be really good with Gygar, who we kind of want to hold on to, who has a benefit for not casting his spells. So that way we can time it, put it in the discard pile at just the right point. So I'll figure out who's going to get which upgrades, and we should also take a look at the boss. As the story goes, after our last battle, we ran into Brahma. After the attack in the marketplace in New Gravehold, she told us that Jana was back and had been working with Zaxos and that she was the traitor, and she had banished her, and now she was worried that they were going to declare war. Sent us out of town to, wanted us to, prepare to fight, to get other mages, and that's where we bumped into Nook and Claudia, but they were both worried about other attacks. Nook, that there was an attack at Southern Outpost, and they needed his help there. Claudia was worried about the ruins, wanted to go through there at the ruins of Old Gravehold. So now, because it's Claudia, then she's the daughter of Malistar and Kadir, our main character so far, we opted to go with her. Went to the ruins, had me put a sticker on the map to show that, and let's take a look and see what nemesis we're going to encounter there, because it's not just going to be quiet and peaceful at the ruins. So the boss this time around is our old friend, no longer the Bishop of Scrolls, but now the Bishop Returned. And those 5 named minions that we set aside got pulled back out. They are now part of the deck, replacing their unnamed counterparts, leaving us with a few unnamed minions in there. When the Bishop Returned unleashes, has 60 life, gains a Nemesis token. And then once she has 5 or more Nemesis tokens, we're going to get reinforcements from the deck. So reveal the top 2 cards of the Nemesis deck, place a minion reveal its way into play, discard the remaining revealed cards. Then the Bishop Returned loses 4 Nemesis tokens. It doesn't say anything, and this could happen multiple times. Doesn't say it's only limited once per turn. And then there's a bunch of rules for what happens when the deck is empty. Basically, you take all the minions back, shuffle them in, and you're going to have to keep dealing with minions. So we're going to face off against the Bishop Returned. So I'll get everything set up, figure out what order I want to put the characters, and then we'll kick things off. All right, so we are ready to go against the Bishop Returned. I decided not only to have Gygar first, but I loaded him up with both breaches and both upgraded cards. We're going to focus on making him our heavy hitter. There's going to be a lot of minions that we're going to be facing, so sooner we can get him the double turns, the better. Then I've got Claudia going next because she's really good in a support role, and I just don't know what to expect from Nook with his kind of degrading abilities to build back up. We'll see. So there we go. First things first, we will figure out starting turn order. So we've got our turn order deck, and we'll shuffle up, roll a die to turn the top card. It'll be the second card, and so we're going to lead things off with not a minion for a change. All right, it is going to be Nook. So who's got all these special cards? So let's take a look at those. All right, so first up, we've got the Zeronia Anomaly. Gain 2. Any ally gains a charge. If this is the first anomaly card you have played this turn, return this to the regularity deck and gain a crystal from that deck. And they're all going to work this way, where whichever is the first you play in the turn is the one that you are going to have to lose for a while. Next up, we've got the Mechanic Anomaly. Focus one of your breaches. Repeat this once, and then all the other text. And finally, the Photonics Anomaly, gain 1. That's it. Doesn't do anything special. All right, so those, and then we've got a Crystal and a Spark, so we just need to figure out what the best approach for this first turn is. All right, so I think I'm going to be a little aggressive here to start things out. First of all, I'm going to play the Photonics Anomaly, which is going to gain 1 and doesn't do anything else special. Then the Zeronia Anomaly, gain 2, and an ally gains a charge, so we'll give that to Claudia so that she can be giving out cards to other people. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm actually going to gain a Fractured Lightning. It's pretty early to jump on one of these. However, I think the deck is... I know that all 9 of the cards added to the deck for the Bishop are minions, so certainly a better chance. To show you against the Fractured Lightning, deals 5 damage, which is great. It does overheat if the top card of this deck is not a minion. So, but we'll jump on that early, make sure we have good damage output. And actually, even before that, I have to resolve the Phoenix Assembly, which swaps this with a Spark. So the Spark is actually going to go there first, followed by the Fractured Lightning, and then, which we just gained, we'll play the Mechanic Assembly. I get to focus a breach twice. I'm actually going to focus my 3 breach twice. Get that quicker to opening up the extra damage. We'll throw a Spark on there, and then I'm just going to end up drawing all these together. So that is going to be the end of Nook's first turn, which I think is pretty effective. He's pretty powerful. And then next up, we are going to have Claudia. Okay, gives us a chance to get some stuff in place before any minions show up. So for Claudia, so she starts with her special, one of the two, the Jubilant Halo. It's a spell. When cast, deal 1 damage, and then gain 1 that can only be used to gain gems. So next turn, she'll be in pretty good place. So, and it's just really a question, again, because I know I'm going to be facing a decent number of minions. I think I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to spend 3 to open this breach. I'll drop both these down. Again, pretty simple and straightforward first turn for her. Okay, next up, it is the Nemesis, and let's see what we've got. Kicking things off, it is our old friend Kevin. He's got 5 health, and when he unleashes, he will do 2 damage to any player. So fortunately, we've already got a bunch of damage out, so hopefully we can deal with him pretty quick. But let's go ahead, move on to the next card, which is the Wild, which is going to be Gygar. All right, so Gygar, in addition to the upgraded cards, we've also got one of his special, which is a spell Bide. While prepped, once per turn during your main phase, you may gain an Ember. So that we're going to be able to trigger right away, which means my original plan of just straight up opening a breach, maybe that's not the best plan, because we will prep this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 5. So let me think about that. So with Gygar, it is tempting. I could have 5. I could just focus this. I could buy a card, maybe get the economy going. But I do want to get this open for the extra damage because we got a minion out now. There's only going to be more coming out. He's got the extra turn. So I'm just going to go ahead, and even though I'm overspending, I've got 5. I'm going to spend 4 to open this up, then drop the spark, and that's going to do it for Gygar's first turn. All right, then next up, it is going to be Gygar again. Okay, so now comes the interesting part, right? Is do I want to hold off on casting to build up to some storm? Thing is, I do have 2 sparks. Am I going to focus a breach, or do I want to start buying stuff? I'm going to take a moment to think about it. All right, so this is pretty tricky. I was considering a bunch of options in terms of leaving one of these, trying to get a 3 cost I can draw next turn, but then I'd have to keep a spark in my hand, or I'd have to be focusing this, in which case I wouldn't get to buy. The short of it is, I think I just want to start pouring out the damage, clear these off. So I'm just going to go ahead and cast both. I'm going to be drawing them both. So this one's going to do 2 damage. This will do 1 damage. And I think I actually could have triggered that if I had bought a card last turn. Possibly. But that's all right. We'll do 3 damage to Kevin. Because again, we get like the extra +1 from this breach, which we did open. It's going to allow us to prep a couple more sparks. And then with the 3, we'll start getting some economy going with the Sunken Onyx. And now I actually will be in a position... no, I'm still not going to draw this right away. But that is all right. We'll get going eventually. In the meantime, we've drawn back up. And that, of course, just leaves us with the Nemesis. Of course, we're not going to be able to kill this outright. Somebody's going to take 2 damage. Really have no idea at this point. I'll just do it to Nook. So that's that. And then we are going to draw... our old favorite. And by favorite, not at all. The Coal Whelp. 2 shields, 3 health. And he's going to unleash... and add a fire token. So we definitely want to take that guy out as quickly as we can. He's got 2 shields, 3 health. That is it. Which brings us to round 2. So we will shuffle up. Mess up the cards all over the place. Okay. Pretty good shuffle, and then top card is going to be 5. All right, so Nemesis not going just yet. All right, so Claudia, who's going to have a second go around, is going to get to go first. So we're able to deal a couple damage. Could take out Kevin, could take down the shields. Advantage, of course, I think probably better take down the shields because then Gygar could deal the 3 damage to finish it off. So that's what we'll do. Also going to gain 1 that can only be used to gain gems. So it seems like that's what we should do this turn. Again, that's just 2 damage, knocking off both shields. We'll go ahead, prep both sparks. So we've got the 1 from here, 2, 3. Okay, so this is another special she's got, which is Mirror Shard. Play this as a copy of a gem in your hand. All the more reason to go ahead and get a good gem. So we got the 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get the best we can, which is the Cobalt Clump. Although there certainly are benefits to getting the Sunken Onyx for being able to let other people focus breaches. Especially since I can play as a copy. That's interesting. But I think I'll save that for when I've got 3. Yeah, I am going to be able to draw this combined with this. So that's pretty good. But, you know, for that matter, I am... although we'd be able to silence a minion. Yeah, so I will do that. Because we expect there will probably be minions in play. Okay. So that is going to do it for Claudia's first turn. And then we will go ahead and reveal... All right, perfect. Gygar. So that's 1 damage here, And then, because of this ridiculously good breach, that's going to be 2 damage here. So that is going to take out the Coal Whelp before it even gets a chance to whack us. If we get lucky, we'll take out Kevin too. We shall see. All right. So now we're in a situation where, again, we got the Spark. We have Bide and 1, 2, 3, 4 to spend, potentially 5 if we're going to use some of it to focus a breach. So could get a charge and focus a breach, or we could just spend 4 to get the Cobalt Clump. I do think I want to keep things moving along with getting these breaches open so that we can power up this, which is going to do 3 extra damage once these are both open. So I am going to do the option where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to focus this for 3. I'm going to spend 2 to get a charge. And then that is going to do it for that turn. And then I'm in a good position to buy a good 5-cost spell next turn. So that's it for Gygar. I'm feeling Nemesis probably, but let's see. Yeah. All right, so any player takes 2 damage. This time we'll do it to Gygar. So he is down to 8. Yeah, any player suffers 2 damage. So that's it. And then, yep, it's another minion. It is the Carrion Raiders. So, upgraded basic, 3 shields, 3 damage, persistent Gravehold suffers 2 damage, and add a fire token. They just really want us to take fire tokens. This one, going to take a little bit more effort to get rid of with all those shields. So we may need to just knock out Kevin at next opportunity. Okay, that's it for the Nemesis. There goes the Nemesis again. All right, well, equal opportunity. We'll let Claudia take a couple damage. And then Gravehold will suffer 2 damage, going down to 28. And we'll get our first fire token. All right, the card we're drawing is not a minion for a change. Impending Immolation, just straight up basic. Spend 6 to discard. Power 2, unleash. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Add a fire token. I think we're actually going to be able to produce 6 here, though I was hoping to get some economy going. It might make more sense to just get rid of this. All right, so where are we at? We've got another turn for Claudia, a turn for Nook, so we're definitely going to be able to deal 3 more damage before things come back around. Let's see who goes first. It's the Wild, so it's Claudia, and now it's just a question of where I'm going to want to go with things. Certainly the advantage of knocking down shields is to set up Gygar in case he goes first. But I'll take a moment to think it through. Okay. Player damage is annoying, but I do have ways to counteract it between Claudia, between this. So I think it's more important that I focus on getting this guy down. Also, I want to be able to maximize his abilities and not be hitting a shield for 2 damage. So we'll go ahead and spark the 2 shields, knowing that Nook is going to get to go next, and we'll be able to take out the other shield. That's just in case, right? So if Gygar ends up going first in the next round. Then we'll go ahead, prep these, and I've got 3. I'm going to go ahead and get an Electrum Rod, especially since Gygar, I'm planning on getting one of these 5-costers. So hopefully we can start to maximize the capability of that. So that is going to do it for Claudia's turn. And then we are going to move on to Nook. All right, so Nook will take out the other shield. Just get rid of that. And all right. In order to drop a spark, I would need to focus a breach, but that might not be my best approach. So because what I've got here, just looking at this hand, we've got the Nihilum Anomaly, gain 2, silence a minion. So that's also the plan, right? I'm going to be able to silence one of these guys. And then the Eternus Anomaly, and that's just gain 2. So obviously that's the one we're going to be subbing, and that's going to gain a crystal back. So we'll play that, which is going to throw a crystal here, and that's going to go into the anomaly deck. 4, 5, 6. So if we wanted to cast a spark, right, we'd have to focus one of these. But I think, given the opportunity, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, potentially Claudia could get rid of this. It's as long as she manages to go before the Nemesis goes twice. What would I do in this case? Well, I'd probably focus a breach, maybe get a 4 cost. Alright, so I'm looking at my discard pile, and I will definitely be in better shape if I can draw this mechanic anomaly next turn to work on these breaches. And the only way I'm going to be able to draw all 5 is if I play this spark. And of course, again, I can't just hold on to it. I have to hold on to it. I can't just discard it. A gem you can play and not use the Aether. A spark, if you can't put it somewhere, you got to hold on to it. So I'm going to take a chance that Claudia is going to be able to deal with this. Granted, I won't get to do the silence, but hopefully we'll have taken a lot of this stuff out anyway. Also, he does get to silence a minion, so I'm going to go ahead and silence Kevin, hoping that Gygar gets to go. Nah, we should silence here. I could always have him throw 2 damage and 1 here. So I've generated 6. I'm going to use 2 to focus this. Actually, I almost think I'd rather have that 3 cost. So I'm going to spend 3 to focus here. And then the other 3 to buy one of these. That's going to allow me to prep a spark. And yep, that'll do it for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, end of round 2. We move on to round 3. So, all right. So we've got the impending immolation. We've still got these minions to deal with. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 damage on the table. So if we get lucky, we'll get to take them all out. Really, we just need some opportunities to go before the Nemesis goes twice. But let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Wild is going to start things off with Nook. Which is, of all the people going first, that's not necessarily the best one, but it's not bad either. So first thing, I accidentally drew his anomaly stack as his hand. Shouldn't be. That is his correct hand. All right, we have no choice but to cast a spark. That's fine. We're going to do it here. That way either of these can take out either one in case that silence goes away. All right. So I'm going to lose one of these. I think it's probably more important at this point that I hang on to this. So I'm going to play the Zeroni Assembly. Gain 2, any ally gains a charge. So we'll give another one to Claudia. I'm going to gain a total of 3. I'll play the Mechanic Anomaly. Oh, and this is going to get shuffled in and replaced. Gain a crystal. So that's going to come out. All right. And then, so we'll use that. We can focus 2 breaches. So I will go ahead and get this one open. I will focus this because that's going to be more difficult. Then I can go ahead and cast both of these. Let's do it that way. Although I might want to hold on to this. Yeah, keep this here so I can hold on to it in case there's no minion out in play. I think, oh right, I've got 3 to spend. So I'm going to go ahead and get a Sunken Onyx. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So I'm only going to be able to draw one of these, so I will go ahead and make sure it's the anomaly. Okay. So that is going to do it. 2, 3, 4, 5 for that turn, and I will be able to produce 6. So if he gets to go before this goes twice, we'll see. But it is the Nemesis, so Kevin is going to hit somebody for a couple. We'll do it over here. Get rid of the silence and drop a token. And next up, on turn order. So next up, we have an attack. It is Rend. Unleash. Gravehold suffers 1 damage. Any player suffers 2 damage. All right, so the Unleash effect, again, is going to be... Bishop Return gains a Nemesis token. So just 1 for now. I'll just put this over here. And somebody has to take 2 damage, so it will be Gygar. And that is going to do it for the Nemesis turn. Hopefully not again. Okay, so Claudia gets to go, which is very good. I'm going to take out the Carrion Raiders. I'll deal 2 damage, +1 that I can use for a gem. I don't think I'm going to be doing that, but hold on to that just to keep track. Take out those guys. We can go ahead and prep a spark, and then I think I've just got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? This is a copy of this one. That's going to allow me to get rid of this before it does too much or any damage. Okay. So that was timely. And yeah, we didn't need that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't need to flip that yet. Next up is a Gygar. That's fortunate. So I think now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw that there for 2 damage to take him out. And for the first time, we will take advantage of the opportunity to power up. We'll drop a Storm token on Bide. We're also going to get to use... we're going to get to gain the extra Aether. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6, which is more than we need because I just want to get a spell. And then it's really a question of which. Do I want the Cascade or the Quicksilver Bolt? So I think I'm going to start with the Cascade because that'll allow me to get gems back and just kind of keep things going to get other spells faster. So we'll drop the Cascade in. Extra Aether goes to waste. Okay. Next up is the Nemesis. We've cleared everything out, so we just have to deal with Consume. Unleash. Let's do that first. Any player suffers 2 damage. My goodness. Yeah, we're going to have to focus her on healing, I think. Any player gains 3 life, so she can do it to herself. So we'll have her take... Actually, you know, I want to keep somebody at a buffer. Eventually, Gygar is going to be able to get this. I need to build towards that a little bit faster. But we'll go ahead and knock him down to 4. All right. Oh, and discards a card. So maybe it's not Gygar. All right, so let's figure out, yeah, because we have to discard a card, and then there would also be a fire token involved. I don't really want to mess up any of these hands, so I will just go ahead and take the fire token and discard probably a spark. Let's see. Probably not going to have that in play. 1, 2, 3. Hard to say. But we'll just go ahead and discard a spark. and that resolves the Nemesis, which leaves us with Nook. So I do have to cast a Spark, so I will throw that at the boss. I'm going to leave the Fractured Lightning in play so that I can throw that at a minion when it comes out. I am going to need to focus something here. Might want to hold on to this too. A lot of good options to think about. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is, so that I don't want to lose this anomaly just yet, I'm going to hold on to it. I'm not going to play it. Instead, I'm just going to spend 4 to open this breach. And that'll allow me to drop that there. And this should set me up good with my next hand, right? Because I know the next 3 cards. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 6 to spend, so now I'm going to be able to get one of these 5-cost spells, most likely. Unless something crazy comes up, and maybe I'll feel like I have to deal with that instead. But that is going to be the end of round 3. So, as things stand right now, you know, we got good control over the board, but I did take the damage here. We've taken a lot of damage. So I need to start getting towards a point where I can get some of these in hand. I need to get Claudia's engine going better so she can... Actually, I think I can fire off a charge on her turn if I want. So we'll have to see how that goes. Let's see who is going to be leading off this round. It's going to be... All right. It's going to be Gygar. I have no targets. I can always hit the boss. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But it depends on what kind of spending I want to do, so I'm going to look things over. All right, I think I'm going to hold on to both of these. I think I'm going to be pretty aggressive. 1, 2, if I'm opening a breach, 3, 4, or focusing, 5. But even before then, right, so the nice thing about with Gygar is, you know, these get better, right? They both are going to deal more damage, plus, and they can have up to 3 storm tokens. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to go ahead and straight up open this breach. Now we're getting pretty close to making this ridiculous. And I'll also prep a spark. So we are loaded for bear on our next turn. And that's Gygar, who's also got the wild this turn. So let's get a minion in play. Give him something to target. All right, I'm gonna throw a damage at the boss, knock him down to 58. Though at this point, I mean, I might just want to cast this. It's kind of a waste just sitting on it when I could be rotating it through my deck. So, all right, but it also depends on draw, so I'm going to consider it for a moment. All right, I really do want to build towards getting these Rainbow Surges, so I'm going to leave this out here just to keep it out of the rotation. I'm going to go ahead and prep this. I've got 6 to spend. I'm just going to spend 5 and get an Aether Dust. Unfortunately, actually, before I gain the Aether Dust, I am going to have to play this, which is going to take a crystal out of here. And then I'll go ahead and play the rest of these. Gain the Aether Dust. And it's going to be it for Nook, who I think we're also going to want to start getting him charged up to get those really good abilities back. So that was him. All right. Here we go. Nemesis. We have a minion. It is Phil. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. That I actually don't mind that much, but I don't think Phil's going to be in play for very long. All right. Claudia's up first. I'm not even sure it makes sense for her to throw that damage. Oops. Yeah, Gygar is going to go again. This does 2 damage. This is going to be doing 5 damage. This is going to be doing... well, let's see. This one is going to be doing 3 damage. So +1. All right, that gives me the most flexibility and options. So I will go ahead and hit this guy for 1. So that's going to drop him down to 4. We can go ahead and prep a spark. And I am missing a crystal down there. We'll grab it in a moment. But in the meantime, the Electrum Rod, I am going to focus this breach. If that player has a prep spell that costs 5 or more, gain a charge, which I do. Got 3 to spend, but I think what I'm just going to do at this point... Yeah, I kind of like to build up to getting better gems. So I'm just going to go ahead and get another charge for now, and I'll grab that in a moment. But I'm going to spend all the charges. Well, I don't necessarily need... The next time you gain a card this turn... All right, you know what? I'm going to gain the charge. I'm not going to use it yet. Nobody's going to suddenly die. So it'll give me an option. Maybe I won't do the healing. Maybe I'll be able to gain something good. Yeah, next turn, Claudia is going to be able to produce 5, which means she's going to be able to buy either one of these spells or this, and then she can have allies gain them, so I'll probably go for that. So it definitely makes sense to just get the charge and hold it, and throw those down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Nemesis again, so Phil is going to do 3 damage to Gravehold from 26 down to 23. And we have... Alright, so we've got our first one of these. It's an Unknown Soldier. So this is one of the ones that didn't name. Persistent Gravehold suffers 1 damage. So that's not bad at all. Obviously, they're a lot easier to deal with if they don't get named. And again, the way it went, you're either going to have 5, 6, or 7 based on how well you do in that first game. They're hitting you back here. Okay. Finish off the round with the wild, which is Gygar, who is just going to go hog wild here. And then it's just a question... Right, so the Cascade can do 5 damage, the Spark can do 2, the Bide as it stands right now is going to do 3, so it's a whole lot of overkill. Maybe I don't want to kill this guy yet, and even build up a little bit more. I got a lot to spend. Really, a lot depends on what I want to get out and what I want to do, so let's see. Yeah, I really want to get one of these, sooner the better. So what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and cast the Cascade, which deals 5 damage. Again, a little bit of overkill, but that is going to take out Phil. And we'll go ahead, and then upon casting this, right, I'm going to be able to get one of these back. So I'm actually going to get this one back, because having it down here, it's probably not going to be good enough to do this. 1, 2... Yeah, the way things are going to work out, my next hand is going to have a bunch of spells in it. So I'd rather hold on to that for later. And then I will go ahead and spark Unknown Dude for 2. And I'm going to leave Bide. We are biding our time. Oops, not a shield. Throw out another Storm token. So now it's maxed out. So, but also conveniently, it can now deal 4 damage. So if we get more generic minions like this, but it's prepped. So I will gain 1 Aether during my main phase. We'll go ahead and prep this Spark here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. +1 is 7. So I'll get the Rainbow Spark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be coming in a hand. We'll have an opportunity to open this if we want, which I think will be a good way to go. So we'll keep those together. And that is Gygar's rather effective turn. All right, and we have come to the end of round 4. Things are moving right along. I feel like, I mean, things can always get out of control, but yeah, no, we've done everything right. I think I've just been ahead of the curve all game on this one, which is sort of surprising, but not really because these upgrades are very powerful. Okay. 2. So 1, 2. All right, well, it is the Nemesis, so Gravehold is going to go down to 22. I shouldn't get too confident because, again, I don't have any immediate ways to heal Gravehold, so if that gets out of control, that is going to be a problem. Sorry, the wrong thing. We would have found out anyway. Okay. Stifle. So it's going to be unleashed twice, so we'll go ahead. And we've got 4 of these tokens out now. The player with the lowest life suffers 3 damage. Yikes. Okay. Gygar is down to 1. If nearly severed. Yikes. Just barely dodged that bullet. Maybe Claudia is going to have to spend her time healing. Okay. So that was pretty nasty for the Nemesis. Next up is going to be the Wild, which is going to be Claudia. And yeah, I'm definitely going to have to take a moment to think this through. All right, nice as it would be to trigger off her ability to let allies gain, it doesn't particularly help their hands this turn, and I can kind of get her going. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to spark this for 1. It's just going to work out better for her. 2, 4, 5. If the next card, the next time you gain a card that costs 5 or more this turn, silence a minion, you actually get to do it twice. So I'm going to go ahead and get her an Aether Dust, which will also allow me to silence this guy. So that's that. I will prep a Spark. I will prep the Jubilant Halo. I will then spend her charges. I don't want to mess around. We'll give 3 life to Gygar, and that ability will just have to wait. All right. So 5, 1, 2. Yep, they're all coming together anyway. Okay. That was nearly disastrous for Gygar in his first game. All right. Speaking of Gygar, he gets to go. Yeah. So at this point, we've been hanging on to this. It's huge overkill. We can't put any more tokens on it, but we can continue to take advantage of it if we want to keep it out. Although this is a turn where the extra doesn't really do me any good. So, plus, I'm not going to be able to open this breach. So, what I will do is I will use this for 4, right? 1 plus the 3, and I'll do that all to the boss. And then this Spark is going to deal 2 damage. If I could hold on to it, I could potentially do the get a card back. But let's just take this thing out. Although, no, maybe not. Yeah, let's not mess around too much. We'll just take this thing out. We are not going to take this thing out. Only because it is silenced. Somebody else can do it. I'll just do the 2 damage to the boss. Right, because both Claudia and Nook are going to get an opportunity to go, and they could just throw a 1-point Spark at it. So then, let's see. Get these out like this. Maybe in case there's a shield, we'll throw a Spark over here. So for 2, we'll just go ahead and gain a charge. Okay. All right, Nemesis, silence token comes off, and we have another attack. Blacken, unleashed twice, so we are going to have to reckon with that. at the end of the turn if the bishop has 5 or more. So we'll get to that at the end of the turn. All right, Gravehold suffers 5 damage, down to 17. Not good. All right, if there are 4 or fewer fire tokens on your location on the map, add 2 fire tokens. Ouch. There's nothing to be done. All right, so, I mean, we're in good shape, but we're getting hit pretty hard, and we have limitations. So I think I'm going to need to start hitting the boss pretty hard. That's it for that, but now we do need to resolve this. So, at the end of the Nemesis turn, if Bishop returned has 5 or more Nemesis tokens, reinforcements are summoned. Reveal the top 2 cards of the Nemesis deck. Okay. Place a minion reveal this way into play. Discard the remaining revealed cards. Yikes. So that's actually going to accelerate us to some of the nasty stuff, although these were both pretty nasty. Then Bishop returned loses 4 Nemesis tokens. All right, so you know what? I'm going to set these aside because usually I do my thing. I'm just going to put them over here in the discard pile so that I can still count how many cards we've gone through, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So for 5 turns, so we're on track. Let's not forget to take away 4 of these tokens. Okay. Brutal. We will go ahead and spark this guy for 1 to take him out. And then I can't be sitting on spells like this. I need to just keep doing damage. So this deals 5 damage, plus 1 from the open breach, 6 to the boss. I'm just going to knock the bishop down to 46 from 52. All right, and then we have to reveal the top card of the Nemesis deck. It is a minion, so this does not... if it is an attack or power, overeat this card. It's not, and also we do have the foreknowledge of knowing that we've got this thing coming. So 2 shields, 10 damage, so we'll keep that in mind. In fact, I'm just going to keep it face up. All right, so then we can drop a spark. We'll use the anomaly to focus this twice, which is then going to replace this with a crystal. So now we've gone through all of our good stuff. Hopefully we can get that back before too long. So I do have 4, so you know what? I will just go ahead and... Do I want to gain charges or... You know, I think it's more important that I just keep the damage train going, so I'm going to get another Fractured Lightning. Take my chance with that. And that's first. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And finally, finishing out this round is going to be Claudia. So, all right, let me look over my options, see what I might want to keep around here. All right, so I'm just going to throw a spark at the boss. I'm going to leave the other one. I'm going to replace it with a spark, just leaving her in a position that when that minion comes out, if she's the one that goes next, she can knock off the shields. So boss just goes from 46 to 45. I'm going to use the Electrum Rod to... focus a breach over here, which is going to gain me a charge. And then I've got 3. I'm going to go ahead, but I really want to get myself up to a Chaos Charm so I can get some thinning. I'm going to need to deal with these fire tokens. But for now, yeah, I'll just go ahead and get another one of these. That's basically as good as a charge at this point now. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that is going to be a good turn for her next time around. All right, round 5 is over. We are getting ready. Keep that up. Getting ready for the next round. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. is the Nemesis. Well, we know what's coming there. It's not bad because let's get that out right away so that people can start dealing with it. Okay, that's the Nemesis, and now it's wild, which is Nook. Oh, no good reason. Oh, it is +1 damage. That's a good reason. Potentially wait, but these are all potentially extra too. So yeah, I'm just gonna. I don't know when Claudia is gonna get to go. Might be Gygar next. Don't want to be wasting damage, so we'll just knock off one of those shields. We'll go ahead, prep another spark, and now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still one short. And I guess I could have discard the Onyx on his turn to open that, but that's fine. Not necessary. All right. Well, we are going to gain some Aether tokens to our allies, so that is always good. And I mean, with these 6, it's tempting. Yeah, it's tempting to just load up on charges because the advantage to that is I can have a big turn because if I can get the crystals out of my discard pile, yeah, you know what? That is what I'm going to do this round. 2, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to do this because I could be in a position where when I activate this, I'm taking 3 cards out of my discard pile, getting 3 cards from my decks, and I've got an 8-card hand, minus whatever it cost me to do the 4 charges. But that could be pretty big. So we'll do it that way. 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, as I stand right now, I don't have enough. I'm 1 short. But if I can manage, if Claudia goes first, I will get an Aether token. So let's see what my luck is looking like. Luck's looking pretty good this game. All right. I will go ahead. I'm just going to hit this twice. Once with the shield, once to knock it down to 4. 2, 3, 4. Prep the spark. And now I got a whole bunch to spend. So got to figure out the best way to do that. All right, so with Claudia, what I'm going to do here is, right, I've got the Aether Dust for 2, and I can use the Mirror Shard to duplicate that. So that's 4. That is going to give 2 tokens over here, 2 tokens over here. This gets me up to 6, 7, 8. As long as I get a card that costs 5 or more, I'll be able to silence a minion. So I'm going to get the Cascade. Right, I'm taking the Cascade over this because I want to be able to get stuff back to get her more charges, keep that ability going. So having acquired that, I do get to go ahead and silence this minion. I've got 3 left. I'm just going to focus this breach, start getting that towards open. I don't really want to buy any more cards. I feel like I'm good with, if anything, I want to start getting cards out of her deck. I want everyone loading up on spells. So we'll just make sure 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so all these cards, when they come back, are going to come back together for another big turn. Big buying turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was spent. Okay. That's pretty effective. Still don't like those 4 fire tokens. But we're not in a position to deal with them just yet. Alright, we'll toss this over this way for 2 damage. Just slowly whittle that guy down. And throw out the Fractured Lightning and a Spark, giving us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to spend. And so yeah, this might be the turn where I activate the ability. Well, let's see. All right, so doesn't look like it has to be even. It's just up to on both sides in terms of the ability. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead. I'm going to spend all 3 crystals plus the 2. That gives me 5. Here, I will hold on to one of these. So I've spent 4. That gets me to 2 charges. Then I can go ahead and activate this. So return up to 3 crystals from your hand or discard pile. I don't have any in my hand now. Played them all. But I do have 2 in my discard pile. So those are going to go into the anomaly deck, or into the regularity deck. Place up to 3 anomaly cards from the regularity deck into your hand. So I'm going to get all the ones that produce 2, all the gems. So now what I can do is 2, 4, 6, 7, and I'll play this one that doesn't do anything special, the Eternus Anomaly. I'll play that first. So that's going to go back into here. I'm just going to bring a crystal back out. But importantly, 2, 4, 6, 7. I can silence a minion, which I'm not going to. An ally gains a charge. I'm actually going to do it over here because I got some pretty exciting things coming for Gygar. And then with the 7 I've got, I'm going to get him one of these Rainbow Surges. So that's going to do it for that. Okay. Drawing back up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, and then last but not least, oh no, we got 2 left. So the Nemesis, this will unsilence. And we have another minion. It's just an unknown hunter, but now we're up to the 2 rank. So he's got 9 health, and his persistent ability is to unleash. So got some big stuff out there, but also have a lot of damage we're capable of doing. So let's go ahead and finish off the round with Gygar. And yeah, this I have stuff I have to think about, because I am going to be able, I've got enough here to do his ability this turn, which is to cast 2 of your Spells without discarding them, which is going to allow me to prep the Rainbow Surge. I'll probably keep one of these out here, so I'm just going to do some math and figure out the best way to maximize this. Right, yeah, this is wild. All right, check this out. I'm going to cast a Spark. It is going to do 1 damage. We'll do it to this guy. Then I'm going to cast this Spark, which is going to do 2 damage. I'm going to do it over here, leaving this with 5 and 8 life. I am not going to cast the Cascade. Now, I'm going to prep the Rainbow Surge to this breach. Next up, I'm going to spend this crystal plus these 3 tokens for 4 Aether, which I'm going to use to open this breach. So now all my breaches are open. This puppy here is going to do an additional 3 damage. So then I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, so I spent these 4 to get 2 charges. And now I can go ahead and do a I didn't cast the Cascade, right? So at the end of the casting phase, that is going to gain 1. So even before I played the Rainbow Surge. So now I can cast 2 of your prep spells without discarding them. So I'm going to cast Cascade, which is going to do 3, 4, 5 damage, because this is my +1 damage breach. And I'm going to do that 5 right here, which is going to take out the Magma Lord. And then I am going to cast Rainbow Surge, which is going to do 5 plus 3 is 8, which is just enough to take this guy out. And since I destroyed a minion, I am going to get to boost the Rainbow Surge and gain a life. So we're back up to 5. Oh, I also cast the Cascade, so I'm going to get a thing back. I'm going to go ahead and get back... I'll get back the Spark, which now I'm not going to have 6 cards in my discard pile, probably. So maybe now's not the time to do that. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I'll just do it that way. All right, so, because I could always leave it out there. Now I've still got 4 left to spend, so I'm just going to do that to go ahead and get a couple more charges, because boy, when that ability goes off, that is insanely good. Yeah, and we're going to be in a position, you know, if any minions come out before Gygar's next turn, we are going to be able to slaughter them. All right, so that is the end of round 6. Yep, we're heading on to round 7, where Super Gygar is going to get to go twice. And really should be in a position to start hammering, hopefully, this guy. Or this gal. By the way, I have a theory on the bishop. Having just read the flavor text on the right, so every one of the nemesis has. I read it in one of the other videos because I think it's particularly well written and interesting. Just the way she talks, they're all written from the point of view of the bishop, and the way she talks, I think she's the traitor. Like, I think she's the one. Now, is it Brahma herself? Is it Gianna? You know, it's interesting. Like, did Gianna send it to attack her son to try and strengthen them? I don't know. But I do think it's somebody from one of the towns that is found a way to manipulate things, and whether it's Gianna or Brahma, I think that would be a very interesting story turn. I should roll 3. 1, 2, 3. And if I already rolled and forgot, I didn't mean. Not like I kind of do want the nemesis out because I want a minion. But let's see what happens. It is going to be not a minion. It's the Devil's Pact. Okay. Looking at this one again. So we have 3 choices now. Any player suffers 5 damage. The players discard the 3 most expensive spells or unleash twice. Players lose 3 charges. It's not a terrible thing to do the unleash twice. I'm not in a position with 3 production to be able to charge up. So, all right, but I am going to give this some thought as to where I want to go. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and unleash twice. I grabbed the 2 tokens. I had 3 charges, so I lose all my charges. I just don't want to. I don't want to have somebody take 5 life. I certainly don't want to lose my 3 most expensive spells right now. So that's not too bad. That's the Nemesis turn. Next up, is Gygar. Well, we can power up. It's tough because I want to further get this up. But I think at a minimum, right, I'm going to go ahead and probably cast the Spark. Not necessarily, because I will have enough cards in the discard pile, potentially. All right. But I can also just get it back. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cast the Spark. That's going to do 2 damage. We'll hit the boss for that. Down to 43. I'll cast the Cascade, which is going to do 3, 4, 5 damage, and allow me to get this Spark back. So now boss is down to 38. And, oh yeah, this actually does give me an extra. So I think I will leave the Rainbow Surge out for now, even though the advantage to, you know what, nah, I'm just going to whack the boss. It's just too much extra damage to not use. So that's going to deal 8 damage to the boss. I can actually do that before the Cascade. So boss is down to 30. I think that's the way to go. And I do get to, I still do get to heal 1, even though I don't get to boost it. And then we can throw a bunch of stuff out. Um, oh yeah, I'm gonna be able to. Will I be able to get the Rainbow Surge back next turn? I might. Yeah, I should be able to. So 3 + 1 for here is going to give me 4. So that'll give us 2 charges. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just enough. My discard pile remains intact. I got 5. Once I cast the spark, I'm going to be able to get. Yeah, I'm going to be able to get the Rainbow Surge back, which is crazy good. So that was a good call, which I didn't even realize. All right, Nemesis. It is a minion. It's just the unknown fusion. Any player suffers 1 damage. That's Bob. I don't know, it would have been Bob if he had fully gotten his name. Sorry, Blob. You know, it's interesting. Like, I'm thinking about. I definitely. Oops. I definitely like this. You know, I like everybody better than the nameless I fought last time. Like I said, I hated that mechanic. Um, it almost feels a little slow. Like the acceleration of the deck is pretty interesting. Once we get to the bottom of the deck, which is eventually going to happen, I'll read those rules more closely. I probably will regret that. Although the way we're doling out damage, I may be able to kill this thing before too long. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's not a lot of moving parts going on right now. So we'll see, you know, as we get later in the game, how I feel about this particular mechanic. But so far, so good. All right, Claudia. Yeah, so I mean, we'll just throw the 1 damage at it. When I'm casting off of here, though this deals 8 damage off of here, which is, but you never know. Something else may come out, or no. All right. I may just throw this damage on the boss, I think. Down to 29. Any player may focus one of their breaches if that player has a prep spell 5 or more. Unfortunately, nobody has a 5 spell. So that would have been a reason to keep something out. Pay more attention to that. I could just hold on to this. We'll definitely prep that. Got 4. Let's get 2 charges. I will hold on to the Electrum Rod. Probably. Now we should be going through our deck. So, yeah, we'll just go ahead and also focus my own. Now let's get this taken care of. Another +1 damage. So it's worthwhile. Might as well just do it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty basic turn for Claudia. All right, now it's Nook, and then it is going to be Gygar. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boy, you know, I'm 1 away. Oh, yeah, 6. No, I actually am going to be able to kill this on my next turn with just 1 big smash. So in that case, we're going to throw this damage at the boss. That is 1. We'll go ahead and do the lightning for 5. So down to 28, then down to 23. Sorry, the lightning's going to do +1 because it's coming off here. So it's actually 6 damage. Top card is a minion. It's Stewart. So once again, we get lucky on that. Lucky, but it was kind of calculated, right? We knew there were going to be more likely to be minions. Endgame, it's only going to be minions in the deck. So we'll drop another Fractured Lightning and a Spark on our newly opened 4 breach. We got 4 to spend. Yeah, let's just charge up at this point. I'm really satisfied with all the cards everybody's got. At this point, the only spells I would buy would be 5 spells. I'm curious about this Quicksilver Bolt, which also seems like it'd be really good with Gygar because you could prep it on somebody else's turn, then not cast it and charge it up. But Cascade is just so good. Just feels like the better choice. but that is the end of that turn. 2, 3, 4, 5. She's going to be the wild turn, which is Gygar. So let's clear the decks. We'll do 4 damage to the boss, knocking him down to 18. We'll keep this out. We will do 1 plus 2, 2 damage, knocking him down to 16. If there are 6 or more other cards in your discard pile, you may return a card from your discard pile to your hand. So there's the other 6, not including that spark. We'll get the Rainbow Surge back. I will prep the Rainbow Surge here. We're not casting Bide, so we do get to put a token on it. And then throw out a Spark. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 6 from Bide, which is just enough to get all these tokens. We'll activate Gygar's ability again. Activate during your main phase. Cast 2 of your spells without discarding them. So we got 5 plus 3 is 8. So that's 8 to this guy. So he's gone. I really should just do it to the boss, but it's an opportunity. Actually, there's a good reason not to. We get to boost that again because we just took out a minion. So now he's going to gain 2 life. So he's back up to 8. Then I'll cast the Bide, not having to discard it. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, knocking the boss down to 13. And that is going to do it for Gygar. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, yeah, I would, at this point, the question is, can I get these to try and get rid of some fire tokens? Or I suppose I'm literally playing with fire by taking that chance. But let's see. Having finished round 7, this also... round 7, is that right? Or round 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, round 7. Yeah, this also feels like one of the faster games I've gone through. Honestly, like this, the extra damage I'm dealing out of here just seems ridiculous. Might be a little overpowered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, Nemesis. Sure, give me something to fight. Oh yes, it's Stuart. We did know that. Gravehold suffers 2 damage. He's got 12 health at this point. Gravehold's at 17. I don't even know if it's worth wasting my time on him. Unless, I do want to accomplish some stuff. But, let's see who's next. Alright, Wild. It is going to be Claudia. So we will have her go ahead and I'll just spark the boss, get him down. And what I really want to do at this point is get these with her ability, but I don't have the means to do that right now. In fact, all I can do is spend these 2 to gain a charge, kind of set it up for next turn. She is the Wild, so she will get to go again this round. Boy, I'm not even going to be able to cast all this stuff. But we'll get a Cascade out. We'll get the Jubilant Halo out. I'm going to have to hold on to this. So I only get to draw 4. That's unfortunate, but it's good stuff. Yeah, she's going to have a big turn when she comes back around. That's it. Nemesis goes again. Stuart's going to hit Gravehold for 2. All right, let's not get overconfident because this could spiral. Hey, Chris. Any player suffers 3 damage. I don't really mind that right now. He's gaining so much back with the Rainbow Surge. So there's Chris with 10. We should be in a position to silence some of these guys soon, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, so now the Nemesis has gone twice. Everybody's going to get 1 more turn. Starting with Claudia. All right, so I got a lot to spend here, a lot of options, so I'm going to think it over. All right, well, it's just ridiculously good. Jubilant Halo, we'll just smack the boss for 1. Then I will Cascade, get the Jubilant Halo back. That's going to deal 3 damage, knocking the boss down to 11, or sorry, 8, from 11 to 8. Then we'll drop these back into play. All right, so now got my big turn here again. We got the Aether Dust, so let's drop some tokens. We've got the Cobalt Clump, so 2, 4. Crystal is 5. The Mirror Shard is going to copy one of these, getting me up to 7. Honestly, I don't mind a player taking 3 damage. So I could copy the Silence, or I could copy the Aether token. I'm going to copy the Aether token, I think. It seems so unnecessary, but yeah, I'll copy the Aether token. We'll go ahead and I have to acquire a 5-cost card. So the next time you gain a card, you may place it in an ally's hand. So I am still gaining it. Then any ally gains a copy of the same card and places it in their hand. Okay, so that was. So what's going to happen is, I will gain a Chaos Charm that cost 5, and I can place that in any ally's hand. Right, they're both going to get to go this round, so we'll throw one over here. Having gained it, I silence, and then before I do that, right, I had 7 to spend. I do have to spend 2 to set up her ability, and then I spend it. Then the next time you gain a card, so then I will gain the Chaos Charm. I will put it in an ally's hand. Then one ally gains a copy of the same card and places it in their hand. We'll send that one over this way. So now they've both got one. Honestly, yeah, the next to get the double turn, if I don't... I'll put it over here. Only because Nook would have the double turn, so if I wanted to get like 0 fire tokens, which is probably just being greedy. But we'll throw them both over here. So that's all 7 spent. Yeah, crazy. Okay. Next up is going to be Gygar. And at this point, yeah, I could just flat out kill this guy. But what I'll do is I think we'll just end it. You know, this will be... What are we looking at? Yeah, this will be by far our shortest game. So I will Spark. I'll deal 2 damage here, knocking him down to 6. Then with Bide, I will do 1, 2, 3 damage, knocking him down to 3. Just for the fun of it, I'll throw 8 damage onto Chris, knocking him down to 2. Throw out a Cascade and a Spark, and I've got 5 to spend. Doesn't really matter, just because I can say I bought one. I'll get one of those. That's going to be the end of Gygar's turn. And then, last but not least, it is Nook's turn. See, I always mess that up, right? So no, if I take the boss out, I don't get to take my main phase. So it doesn't quite work. I am going to have to let things stick around a bit more. So what I will do here is it's overkill, but I'll do 5 damage, 6 damage to Chris to make sure he's dead. We do have to look at the top card. All right, so we do have to mark this once. What is the top card? It's choices of various unpleasant things. But it's a dealable card, so it's not, it does allow me to inform, whether or not I'd want to keep going, right? Because I still have the option. Actually, because of the order I did things, I don't have the option. I did have to cast this first. But this guy's dead. So long, Chris. And then I will spark the boss for 1 + 1 is 2, knocking him from 3 down to 1. The bishop, we've nearly dealt with you. I mean, maybe I get a chance to go again. Throw out a rainbow surge. In which case, maybe I should have been doing some damage to Stewart. How much does this deal? This deals 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think I want to mess around too much. I will cast the Chaos Charm. 2 different players may destroy a card in hand. You may destroy this if you do remove a fire token. So yeah, I'll destroy both of these to get rid of 2 fire tokens. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Both my allies are going to gain 1 just because you never know what might happen. I will... Yeah. I will buy 1 of these for 5. I'll get a fire token back. Sorry, a charge. Fire token. I can tell you where my brain is at. 2, 3, 4, 5. These are gone. And all right, we're not done yet. We will go to round 9. Is that right? I keep forgetting. Yep, we're going to round 9. There are 16 cards, so we've played 8 full rounds. All right, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so now it's just really a question of, do I want to set myself up? I mean, I know what the 1 card is. It's really not that bad. Although is it a crossout card? It is, so it might be beneficial to just get things over with. The only advantage is if I let Nook go again, I can power this up a bit. I'm good. We extended the game last time, so I will just whack the bishop returned for 3, 6, 7, 8, which is more than enough. It's at 1. So now it's down to 0. We didn't get rid of all the fire tokens. Well, we did get to manage to charge 1 of these up fully. Had a very frightening moment where Gygar was nearly severed, but I'd say my 1 complaint, I don't even know if it's a complaint, but this was pretty easy. When I watch it back, I'll see if I did anything wrong. I'll read the rules again. If I did, you'll never see this video because I'll just completely replay it. But I feel like I did everything right. I think I was just dealing so much damage with Gygar, with the upgrade, with all the upgrades he had, and this was just a really good combination of characters, of mages. So that was very effective. It was all the combos were fun. I liked everything we were doing. Maybe a little bit too easy, but again, I'm not going to complain. 6 in a row. See if we can keep it going next time. As always, you made it this far in the video. Throw me a like. You have any comments? Throw them there as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. And other than that, thanks for watching, and until next time.